It's big plays.
What a play!
Bad days
I bet this guy's into the woods $100.
and parlays.
That's the one. Parlay.
Big plays, bad days, and parlays on Hurrdat Sports.
Care to place a wager?
Billy going down to yellow and brown. That's what's in. Padres on the loose. Let's go, Goose. That's what's in. Bryce gonna lose, and Manny's gonna cruise. That's what's in. Give Philly no slack and send them back. That's what's in.
Big plays, bad days, parlays, James Merrig, Troy Aldridge, Andrew Rogers, and that's what's in for this episode of God Bless Fantasy. Jeez. Big plays, bad days, and parlays. I'm getting my two podcasts here mixed up. Big plays, bad days, parlays, and yeah, I have really no words for that rap. No words.
I loved every minute of it. Yeah, it was fantastic.
That's what's in part. It's funny because you can tell those guys are either completely sober and guys that get up at 5:30 in the morning just to go stand outside and be on Good Morning, whatever it was. And the contrary to that is they are still hungover from the night before coming up with this rap and thinking that it's the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah, either way, not good.
It's so funny. That's what's in.
What does that even mean?
I don't know.
Is that a good
Like
thing?
in style, I guess.
That's what's in?
All right, so it was Phillies going down by like the golden brown. That's what's in, right?
Yeah, their colors, yeah.
Like UPS,
That's what's in what?
Yeah, I think James had the best guess. I'm not sure.
In style, but I don't even know I don't even think they knew if it made sense.
You think they rehearsed that? Or was
Totally.
that dude just off the dome?
Totally rehearsed it.
Rehearsed.
You know, they showed up there and were like, guys, you guys got to be my background singers here. You guys have to. Like, when I say that's what's in, you guys say it too.
It's going to be like a sick chorus.
Like you said, the Phillies to win the series changed as soon as that came out. As soon as it came out.
Oh, man. Everybody knew in Philadelphia that they were
lot.
going to the World Series after that. Everybody knew.
Shout out to those guys.
Shane, can we hear the rap one more time? Is that possible? That's what's in. I just want to hear it one more time.
Billy going down to yellow and brown. That's what's in. Padres
He
on
goes
the
slow
loose.
down.
Slow
Did you hear
down.
that? Hey, guys, slow down. Slow
Are
down.
those people in the background dying laughing?
Yes. But it's his people. It's his people saying that's what's in that are laughing too.
Gotcha.
Hey, slow down. Slow down. I couldn't get it all.
Going down to yellow and brown. That's what's in.
Slow down.
Slow down.
Slow down.
Oh, yeah. That was hella rehearsed,
man.
like you said.
Dude, so, I mean, that may be the worst rap ever heard, and this weekend was just as crappy as that rap, and as the dump by the SMU Mustang. Did you guys see that clip?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Mustang just running on the field, just dropping poop all the way through. And then they're picking it up with Powerade cups.
Oh, my God. I remember seeing that with you, and I started dying.
I was like, I saw it on Twitter, and I thought it was a joke.
No gloves either.
No gloves. Nothing. They went down, bare hands, 2 cups, and were like scooping it up into one. I'm not a horse professional, so I don't know how much a baby Mustang excretes, but I can sure guess that it has to be more than a cupful.
I wish they just would have left it on the field and not said a word.
No shot.
That would have been hilarious.
You see the lineman go down, put his hands right in poop.
Exactly.
Getting ready for the next play. Oh, man.
Nobody would have noticed.
Yeah, I guess an annoying miss this weekend, or I wouldn't even say weekend. I would say over the course of the last 5 days was missing by one leg on at least 5 of my 10 NHL bets. I did roughly 2 a day, and on the bets that missed, it was either I went 4 out of 5 or 3 out of 4, and I could never just go 4 out of 4. It was just annoying. I wasn't putting big money down. I was just laying roughly $10 trying to incrementally get myself back, which I guess what's even more annoying is if I would have bet them solo, I would be back. But here I am talking about it on the show. And, yeah, I mean, I don't know about you guys. Did you guys have any annoying misses too?
Oh, yeah.
I've missed like my last 6 parlays have all been by one leg. I missed a brutal one yesterday in the Phillies game. Had Wheeler 5+ Ks.
Yeah.
Bryce Harper home run. Schwarber hit. And then I did a Cronenworth hit, and they had one hit the whole game. It was Will Myers.
Yeah, I was a Jimenez home run away yesterday from $3,000. That was crazy.
It was.
Why did I throw that in there? I don't know. I
bet his odds were insane.
Yeah, they
Plus
were.
1,000.
They were
Jesus.
crazy. But the reason I bet on it was only because against left-handed pitching, he hit like 336. He only had about 4 or 5 home runs, but 11 of his 17 home runs
I think, yeah.
were on the road. And, of course, as everybody knows, in Yankee Stadium, right field is much shorter than in most parks, so you can skate one over. And I tricked myself into thinking that was going to happen, even though the odds were plus 1,000. And I told Troy the day before that the 2 Yankees that would hit home runs, Stanton and Judge. But I didn't throw Judge in. I had Stanton. Now, I had Ramirez in that one, too, when I sent it to Troy, so I'm not going to say that I was perfect when I sent that text message. But, yeah, I missed that one by one leg, and I think I missed another one.
Konechny.
Well, Konechny, yes, yesterday, but in baseball, wasn't I one leg off of $1,000? Who was it? Because I had the Naylor home run.
Oh, it was just their money line. You just needed the Guardians to win.
Yep, Guardians money line. Lost 4-2, and that would have been $1,000. So I just couldn't get it right. Now, fortunately, the Guardians didn't move on. That's very fortunate.
That saved a certain somebody.
That did. I was saying some things to a couple of other people, and I don't know if I really would have followed through with it, but I said there was one of 3 things could have potentially happened. One, a lot of cursing would have been done either over the phone or over text message. 2, $10 would be coming back my way in some way, shape, or form. Or 3, if I was feeling really angry about it, maybe $300 was coming back my way. Now, let's preface this. So, when placing a sports bet, hypothetically, just say that I needed someone to place it for me, right? So, I send the exact parlay of what I need, and just for this example, let's call it series winners for the NLDS and ALDS. And when that bet slip comes back, it says money line and not series winners. Let's just say that happened. Would you be upset if all 4 of those ended up moving on, and on the first games, the money lines did not hit? Let's just say, talk about a monumental mistake. What could have been, but was saved by the New York Yankees. Which, let's touch on that really fast, because how bullshit was it that the Guardians couldn't find a place to stay during that rain delay?
That was crazy.
Wild. Yeah,
and they
George
got the
Costanza.
extra day to be able to pitch Nestor.
It's unbelievable that the MLB could not find a hotel, for one, but 2, that a hotel would turn away an MLB team and not say, hey, sorry, James and this person, you guys don't get your room tonight because the Guardians have to stay here. Like, sorry, good riddance. Don't overbook your hotel.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's almost like tampering in a way. It's pretty
Honestly,
insane. They
yeah,
had to,
a little
split up
bit.
the team and stuff. Like,
Right.
People knew the weather was going to be an issue. Aaron Boone blatantly said it earlier that day. So is this a mistake on the city of New York?
Or the league.
Is this a mistake on the MLB? Or
They should have had a hotel ready, in my opinion.
They always should have a backup hotel available.
Yeah, definitely.
Or 3, is it at fault to some staff member for the Guardians who didn't find a way to get that MLB team in a hotel? I mean, these guys were driving through McDonald's to get breakfast while the Yankees got an extra night's sleep with their wife and kids.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I agree with that. I'm not a huge fan of that.
I wonder if that's ever happened before, because surely there's been postponements because it's usually wet, cold.
Yeah, and at this time of year, you're absolutely right because of the weather change.
That's what I meant.
But even still, this is a group that was going to have to stay on the road. So why aren't you always planning on having a spot for this team to stay? No matter what. Prepare for the unexpected, right? That's what everybody should be thinking when it comes to postseason baseball. You may have to play here one day and then play here another day. That's just how it works when you aren't a top team in the AL or NL once you're in the playoffs. So I don't know. I don't really know the process there. I'm not going to make assumptions. I'm not going to put blame on one person. But if anything, it did, in a way, like James said, look like tampering, knowing that the Yankees played a card that they only could win. And that was by having a place to stay, by having a warm bed to sleep in, and by being with their people.
Crazy.
On the other side, how about the Phillies?
How about them?
Troy repping the Phillies hat.
And it was 4-0, and then Bell and Drury just went back to back. So.
Oh, good.
You're kidding.
Oh, good. Aside from betting, though, sports themselves have been fun to watch, especially for Troy.
It's been great.
And it is a breaking ball. Schwarber was ready. How far does this go? Second deck. Kyle Schwarber tees off.
That was sent to the moon.
Dude, it was insane.
Blasted.
It was the second longest. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah. How cool, though, is it that...
Do you know who the longest is? Trivia question?
Longest home run in postseason history.
Yes.
Was it Pujols on the tracks?
It was not.
Albert
I don't know
Pujols!
how, because that thing was blasted.
That was a moonshot, too. Longest home
It
run.
was 391. Sorry, 491.
I was
I'm
like,
sorry.
what? 391.
491 feet.
Like Cespedes?
Nope.
Thought that was a good guess. Home run champ. Stanton? Oh, you said NL. Well,
Yep.
No, the Marlins never would have made it.
Does he still play?
Yes.
Is he in the Central?
Is that your division?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
He still plays. Is he on the Cardinals?
No.
Thank God.
It's a gunner!
Josh Bell?
Nope.
Good guess. I'm going to think it's a Cub. What about Rizzo?
Nope. Good guess.
Bryant?
Nope.
Is he still
Catcher?
Contreras?
It was.
Man,
Yes.
I almost said him
Somehow.
next, but I'm like,
What?
I don't think it's got to be. He can't have.
Wilson Contreras.
Wow, that's
Crazy.
nuts.
Insane.
That's crazy. Good stat to kind of keep in the back of your mind.
It popped up when I was watching the game. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Another cool thing that is the first thing to happen in postseason history. Austin and Aaron Nola on Wednesday, right now when we record, first brothers to face each other as pitcher and hitter. That's pretty cool.
There, he either just hit and I missed it, or he's going to be up in the next inning.
Did you see Nola's interview before the game about
So
how
cool.
he looked up to Austin
Yeah.
for years? And
And Austin said that him being a pitcher really helped him in his catching defense and what his pitchers expect from him. So cool.
yeah, I mean, it's with Nola not being able to find the strike zone, Austin did a great job of blocking practice at home. So that's
right.
Yeah, Austin just grounded out. You missed it.
Yeah, that's what because I saw it was Kim, and then I'm pretty sure he was batting eighth.
So would you consider a 1-for-4 day with a single and no strikeouts a win for Austin in his pride department, or would you consider that still a win for Nola if, say, a strikeout was involved in that stat line? Nola. Aaron, sorry.
I know what you mean. Yeah. I'm not sure.
I think
1 for 4. I think
1 for
anytime you
4
get a
with-
hit is a good day, especially if you said he put the ball in play every
Ks.
time too. If you had a strikeout in there, I think they'll both have something to talk about at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
They'll both talk about the hit and then the strikeout.
So at the end of today, again Wednesday, who is getting the better of the other? Make a prediction now.
Aaron, easy.
I'm going to say Austin gets a hit. James?
What do you want me to guess? Aaron. I was like, what are you guys waiting for?
I've been waiting on you.
No, yeah. I think Aaron, yeah. He's already 0 for 1, so
Nice.
might as well take the odds.
Now, we had another one of those. Did he actually just say that moments on Sunday?
Taste of Landon Dickerson coming right down your throat.
What?
Taste of
How do I miss these?
coming right down.
I love coming on here because I don't see the broadcasting stuff, dude.
Dude, I hate Collinsworth so much. That's my
Okay,
least favorite.
so I know people just audio grab, right? It's almost like you just take a portion of a story and you just put it out there so it can sound completely different of the actual thing.
Sucks.
But in what world does Chris Collinsworth believe it's okay to combine taste, Dickerson, and coming in the same sentence?
Taste of Landon Dickerson coming right down your throat.
Down your throat.
And throat. I guess I should add that one in too. What is
How did I get in
happening?
trouble? Like,
Because again, when you run the ball down somebody's throat, like that's never something that gets flagged.
I guess that's true.
You're never talking about like coming down someone's throat. I've never heard that one. That was a first for me.
Dickerson.
And then, yeah, a taste of Landon Dickerson. So why would you use taste in that sentence? Well, I guess you're maybe like a piece. Why don't you say a piece of Landon Dickerson?
And again, I've heard that in the sports world. Taste.
Yep.
I know what he's referring to, but
But what?
We all do.
we
but
do.
You can't help.
What-
You can't help but.
What a shepherd's pie of words that should just never belong.
Right.
Do you really want a piece of Landon Dickerson coming down your throat?
No, I didn't add the coming down your throat, Shane.
It depends on how much money he has.
I just said peace. Don't point at me.
What was his signing bonus? Then I'll tell you.
Oh, man. Fair point, though, Shane. Fair point. If you add peace there and leave the rest, I don't want that either. I don't want any of that.
Taste of Landon Dickerson coming right down your throat.
What? Huh? Collinsworth?
So they have Dickerson and Dicker on the same team?
Yes. Yes, they do.
Wow.
Si, senor.
Crazy.
Dicker the kicker. Man.
I think my baseball bracket's doing a little bit better than your guys'. I'm just saying.
We'll get there in a sec. How many bets are we about to place?
119, 120.
Sounds about right. Yeah. So let's get into it.
Got to get back.
We'll start with MLB postseason. It's the topic at mind right now, especially with Troy probably multitasking over there, looking off to his right, watching either the Phillies bat or that. Maybe he's looking at that. I don't know.
Jeez.
Hitting the rewind button on that Philadelphia game that he has recorded just so that he can hear it live. Yes, MLB postseason brackets. Do I have a chance? Like, is it me? Am I out?
We were talking about that, and I'm not sure. I think if the Yankees get you 2 points, I think you and James could tie.
No, because James has the Stros.
Because he won't get that last point because he had the Stros.
So if the Yankees win, and then
We'll just add up how many you've got correct.
so we probably should have settled this before. But are we doing a point structure where you get more points as it goes on?
We can.
I feel like that's how most brackets work, but
Yeah.
since we didn't establish that, I don't want to make that a rule now.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter to me,
All
Yeah,
right.
because you're in first.
right? It gives you guys a chance, though. Otherwise, I would already win.
Yeah, just to win.
So
I'm just trying to not get last.
You guys can battle it out. I'm totally fine with that.
So I'm looking at the brackets here. I had the Dodgers moving on. So I didn't.
None of us got that right.
I didn't get anything right in the opening slate. So I
only got, me and James got one, so we would have one.
So I have 2 right because I have Astros, Yankees. James, did you pick the Yankees too?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have 3. And then I didn't have anything on the bottom. So if the Yankees beat the Astros, that would give me technically a tie point.
Exactly.
And then
then the Yankees could win the World Series and then you could win.
They could. However, if they lose and we tie, then what happens, right? Then we're going to have to come up with a tiebreaker. So I guess we can just consider everything one since we didn't settle on what's happening. Unless, James, you want it to be different. Because at this stage, it doesn't matter because you'd still be up 1. No, it would just matter if the Yankees moved on. Then you would lose.
That's all what it comes down to.
Yeah, it would just matter if the Yankees moved on. Because I would lose either way if the Astros move on. But if we did more points on picking the World Series pick, I don't know. We'll just do 1 point. We'll make it fair since I didn't establish that initially. But most brackets,
we didn't think a lot about it.
Most brackets work like a point structure like that. We kind of threw this together last minute, so that's the route we'll take. Maybe next year or the next bracket that we make, which will probably be what? College football, Super Bowl, something like that.
Yeah.
We'll reassess.
NFL playoffs.
Yeah, we'll reassess then. But let's talk about the golf ball, guys. The golf ball chose the NLCS and ALCS winners. And Troy, you should be happy. Philadelphia was the golf ball's choice in the NL. The Yankees, however, James, were the AL choice. So that's what I rode because I have to trust the golf ball. It ended up going 3 for 4 in the DS series. And, in the wild card series, it did not go, it didn't get a win. Didn't go well. And then I also chose if it would be 4 to 5 games or 6 to 7 games. Both balls rolled into the 6 to 7 cup. So I have over 5.5 in both series as well as a separate parlay, which was kind of bogus that it wouldn't let me combine that into the first one. It wouldn't let me say
like same game exit.
Dude, I didn't even think about that. Didn't even think about it.
I don't know if you could even. I don't know if you could even, but
I don't think that stuff would be on there for the whole series. It would just be specifically for that game.
Right. I don't know. I didn't even think about that though. I may look into that tomorrow, but it's not like I'm going to change anything now. I did throw $25 though on both bets because that's at least worth my while at this point. If you looked at the odds for the 5.5s, I think it was like plus 147, and then for the money line series winners, it was 346 to something around there. But I'm sure Troy has Philadelphia going all the way. Did you place a future on the World Series for them?
They wouldn't be here if I did that.
Fair point. James, do you have any futures out on baseball?
Nope.
I tend to stay away. I'm only betting because of TikTok. Unbelievable.
I'm not the best at baseball. If there's a boost, I'll do a same game for like I did yesterday, like the strikeouts, hits, home runs. But outside of that, I'm not the best, so I tend to stay away.
Speaking of odds boost, I did make a TikTok. Well, actually, speaking of TikTok and odds boost, I did make a TikTok on Justin Herbert not covering on Monday Night Football, but then I went back on a few others, like 4 or 5 others that haven't hit over the course of the last 2 weeks, and just telling people to always fade those odds boosts. Like, never throw them into a parlay, never take it straight up. If you see Clyde boosted from minus 110 to plus 150, stay away. And we've had some people in the comments, saying what they want, disagreeing, agreeing, or just liking the video. But I'm just like, guys, from my experience, it never goes well, never bodes well putting money on those.
I know we need to
have to fade them.
We need to put together everyone we see and figure out if we should fade them or just stay away. Like if it's like 50-50.
Right.
Because that wouldn't be worth it.
No, so I just grabbed, like I said, 4 or 5, and then I was like, some hit. Like, if they wouldn't keep making odds boosts if they didn't hit every now and then.
That was like 3 or 4 in a row, though.
Yes, it was.
Especially those football ones. Those football touchdowns were like 3 weeks in a row, like Cup, Hilaire, and then that Herbert passing.
And
one.
Aaron Jones was boosted this past weekend, too.
That's insane.
And to just score a touchdown in that Broncos.
Yes, that was another one. The minus 20,000 to plus 100.
Just to have a touchdown in the game.
I should have brought that one up, too. Well, we're talking about football. Let's get into
minus 20,000.
I know. Let's get into Thursday night football. Cardinals Saints, another great matchup. We've loved to see Kyler Murray and the Cardinals play this year. What do you guys like?
D-Hop is, I think, the only one I'm touching. Oh. Yeah.
You know what? D-Hop's the guy I'm not touching this week.
What?
I'm not touching D-Hop this week. And the reason for that is, at least over the course of the last 2 years, like touchdown numbers have been there, but his production has been declining on its own. And that's when Kyler Murray was overly productive. And no, that's like a legitimate stat. I'll have to go back and find that stat. I gave it on my fantasy football show early on. And
this isn't that show.
No, but I almost started as if it were.
Since you said it, that makes me feel even
better. Yeah, there you go. Maybe I'm the
yards. Give me a touchdown.
Just wait till you see the odds boost, boys. It's coming out. It's coming out. You know it.
Oh, I'm waiting till the last minute to bet just so I can wait on that.
But no, he has been sidelined, of course. He's fresher than ever coming off of his suspension.
Hungry. Hungry.
No Marquise Brown. Rondale Moore should get his production. I like him and his receiving yards this week. He's had over 44.5 the past 2 weeks. I like that this week. I like Kyler Murray's rushing yards because James Conner is still banged up, and the Saints blitz on 25% of their plays, so he'll be flushed out often. And they're one of the teams next to the Ravens that run the most designed QB runs. So I like Kyler Murray's rushing yards. I think Alvin Kamara and his rushing at 69.5 is juicy. That's plus odds, but he's done that the past 2 weeks. And the Cardinals are really good at defending the pass when it comes to running backs, not so much when it comes to defending the run. And I don't know who's going. Is it going to be Jameis Winston? Is it going to be Andy Dalton? Is it going to be Taysom Hill every now and then? I think Kamara is pretty safe when it comes to running the football and moving the ball down the field. And then I think Olave scores. I think Chris Olave scores a touchdown this week. He's the only one that I'm adding in touchdown-wise. He leads all of the Saints' pass catchers and red zone targets, and plus the Cardinals rank dead last in success rate per dropback.
I like Alvin, too. I think he finds the end zone. I can't believe he hasn't. The dude has done everything but find the end zone the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And Ertz has been kind of playing good enough for, I think, me to touch a little bit. Zach Ertz is
receiving yards. I've seen a lot of people say his props. I've seen a lot of people say Ertz is props, but I went with Moore. Could go either way.
Yeah, I like those. I like D-Hop, like I said earlier, to get into. I think see a boost for a same game parlay. I think I'll throw a juicy one down, get Olave, Kamara, D-Hop touchdowns, and then throw their props in there too.
You could even get dicey if you want 4 touchdowns and put Eno Benjamin in the bet. He'll start again this week. James Conner's doubtful. Williams isn't playing. Eno's going to get the ball, but at least what I saw last week wasn't overachieving in any way for Eno Benjamin. I think he had 36, 39 rushing yards on 15 attempts. That's not great.
No, it was horrible.
So, I guess it comes down to maybe D-Hop catches a ball for 80 yards and gets tackled at the 2, and then Benjamin runs it in. It's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah. Might be falling into a trap, but I think we might actually finally get some scoring in a Thursday night game.
The NFL has just sucked. It's just sucked when it's come to scoring. It's so hard.
And they're gross.
Yeah.
A lot of underdog teams scoring a ton of touchdowns too.
I mean, outside of the Dolphins, Ravens, and what was that, week 1, week 2?
Yeah.
Outside of that, haven't seen anything productive when it comes to, hey, this bet feels safe. Like there's no team or matchup out there week after week that I say, hey, this is a safe play. Not this year.
It's a bunch of coin tosses.
It really is. And that's something Josh Allen is still haunted to this day. What do you guys like when it comes to the NHL coming up this week? I'm going to throw some stats out there, but then I'll let you get into some of your points bets, at least for the immediate future, Thursday in particular. But the Bruins, Penguins, Avalanche, Stars, Islanders, Rangers, Flames, Red Wings, Wild, Blues. They are averaging 4 or more goals a game. Now, the Blues are the exception. They've only played one game. But they are averaging 5 goals a game right now. The Wild, the Ducks, the Coyotes, Canucks, Blue Jackets, Kings, Devils, Senators, and Kraken have allowed 4 or more goals a game. The Ducks have allowed 5 a game. The Wild have allowed 6. Now, I know that's a very small sample size when it comes to how many games that these teams have played this year. But when it comes to points leaders now, the one at the top is Artemi Panarin. Then it's Mika Zibanejad, David Pastrnak, Steven Stamkos, Patrice Bergeron, Nathan McKinnon, and a long list of others that fall into the 7 points range, 6 points range. Based on everything that you've heard there, when it comes to predicting bets for the weekend, that's how I would approach placing your points bets Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, is looking at the teams that have scored a lot in the early goings, looking at the teams that have allowed the most goals in the early goings, maybe match the 2 up, and then start picking points players from those teams. It's too early right now, though, for us to sit here and say, hey, choose this person, choose that person, because we're 4 games into the season. Like, we can give you the hottest players right now, but
or the best players is really what it comes down to.
That's, again, the biggest names on the list we can tell you, but there's no guarantee at this point. There's no real strategy betting that right now because we don't know if they've had 10 points in their last 12 games. Well, we haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing that's awesome, though. I've been seeing a lot of goals.
Tons.
A lot of goals around the league. And like you said earlier, with missing all your NHL parlays by like one leg, I've been the same way. Been doing 2 or 3 parlays, so I'm getting 9 out of 12 right and just having the wrong combos, you know? So it's all about just getting the right ones. I don't worry about the slates for this like I do football, like the early game. I don't stick to like just 6 o'clock games and then just late games like at 9. I go all over the board, just the matchups I like. So is that me?
We heard it. We heard it.
The only thing I put down was Friday night that Avs Kraken over as a lock. I would do like 7.5. I think there's going to be so many goals in that game. The Kraken have been playing extremely well, and I think we will put 5 at least on Grubauer.
Grubauer is really good.
Dude.
Not giving up goals.
As a candidate for sure.
Unbelievable.
So, that over.
I think it's a smart play. I really do. James, is there golf this weekend?
There's golf every weekend.
I know. I'm going to keep asking that question. I'm going to keep asking until
what is it this week?
Until the one weekend.
The CJ Cup.
The CJ Cup.
It's in South Carolina. Yep.
Coming down your throat.
Yeah.
Rory top 10. Book it.
Rory's plus 650, I think. Good God. Insane.
CJ.
No, so John Rahm pulled a Happy Gilmore and learned how to putt over the little 2-week off season. Came out to his Spanish Cup or whatever that he played in and shot like minus 23 and gained like 6 strokes on the greens.
Is that good?
No, that's why I'm betting on him.
It's unbelievable.
He's like plus 900 or so. It's a short course. He bombs the ball, so he's just gonna have a lot of chip ins for like 80 yards. And then another guy like is Cameron Young, just won Rookie of the Year, and another long hitter. He's good with his irons too. So I think if he's dialed, then it's gonna be a good weekend.
Pick'em preview the CJ Cup in South Carolina. That is the headline for the PGA Tour's webpage. And a lot of people are saying this Lucas Glover kid. Do you like him?
I don't love him.
Who?
Mm-mm.
Plus
Lucas
30,000 is what is next to his name. I said a lot of people, but I knew there was
Plus
going to be nobody.
30,000?
Yeah, plus 30,000 to win.
Oh, my God.
Hey, just wait until next Thursday. We come back to the show, and Lucas Glover is our CJ Cup champion.
Dude, if he is, I'm never betting golf again in my life.
So what is it?
Here first.
Is that's 10 to win $3,000, right?
That's 30,000, yeah.
Yeah.
That 10 to win $3,000. There you have it. Lucas Glover to win.
Raj is doing it.
Why not? I've been doing it on all of my Corn Ferry Tour inductees into the PGA Tour.
Taylor Montgomery's like 5th in the FedEx standings right now.
Taylor Montgomery's awesome. He's cool. He's a really nice guy, too. Big fan of Robbie Shelton. He's one of my guys. He has a lot of good days. A lot of, like, I don't want to say average, but a lot of consistent days. That's the best way to put it with Robbie Shelton. What?
Consistently average.
Consistent? Is that like a bad
No, you're good.
term?
I just thought you were going to say something else there for a second. You're thinking like Collinsworth.
Oh.
Jeez.
Yeah. No, not like that. Not like that.
Consistent. And then yeah, it's okay. Never mind.
I'm actually lost. I don't know what you're implying.
Let's talk about some baseball on Friday.
Yeah, okay. Let's hear it.
Musgrove against Ranger. Hits, and some more hits.
Now that depends. Does Musgrove have an oily ear?
Well, the last time we faced them, I know it was in June, and we're obviously hitting better than we were in June. He gave up 6 in 6 innings.
Whoa.
So, and Rangers going to give up some hits. So that game could be high scoring. Could be a fun one to bet on. Well, I think Machado goes deep against him.
The way the Phillies have been hitting, there's no doubt in my mind that the bats
already
will
6
stay
runs
going.
through 3 innings. Top of the 4th.
Thank
Crazy.
goodness I got that bet in at minus 185 for them to win this series because they're about to go up 2-0.
It's only the 4th inning, dude.
No, it's
they
a lock.
got time.
It's a lock. Although the Padres did score 5 runs on the Dodgers in the 8th, so who knows?
We scored 6 on somebody.
Do you remember who?
I don't know.
No,
I don't.
I was hoping you guys would.
You weren't even there.
Yeah.
Stop. You weren't even there.
Musgrove, 6 earned in 6 innings. Bye-bye.
6 earned in 6 innings.
Why did they keep him in is what I want to know.
Did you see?
Did he give them all up in the 6th?
I'm not sure, actually. He might have. But still.
Savali gave up, 3 runs on 1 out against the Yankees in the ALDS?
Yeah.
0.1 innings and 81 ERA gets yanked. No pun intended.
Nice.
Let's retract quickly back to Thursday. Just a couple of college football games I like before we go into Saturday's slate. I'm not going into details with these, but these are just names I'm going to throw out there that I am a huge fan of, and then I'll go down my list. I'll give you my 2 favorites, and then mix in some others on Saturday as well. I like Virginia plus 4.5 over Georgia Tech. Troy, I don't know if you remember, but the last time we watched Virginia play on TV, they covered against Syracuse, and we were in Kansas City at that time. I also like Pitt plus 1.5 over Louisville. There's reports that Louisville's top-end running back and quarterback could be out, and Pitt is favored in some models, and in this, they're the dog. So I'll take the 1.5 with Pittsburgh against Louisville on Thursday. My 2 favorites there. Let's go into Saturday's slate. Tulane minus 6.5 against Memphis. Memphis is 3-11 against the spread in their last 14 road games and 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 games overall. Tulane also just made their way into the top 25, 25th team in the nation. Tulane is also 8-1 against the spread in their last 9 games overall, 41-20-1 against the spread in their last 62 home games, while the under, keep this in mind, the under is 4-0 in their last 4 games against a team with a winning record. So, over under 56.5. If you want to get a little more advanced with your play, maybe take the under here, opposed to Tulane minus 6.5, but I think there's no question that Tulane covers in this matchup. I like Ole Miss as well. Their money line over LSU, plus 110. Ole Miss is the number 7 team in the country. LSU is unranked.
Yeah, how are they? How are they the dogs?
LSU is not good. They are the most overrated Power 5 school this year. I said it.
Ole Miss been eating too.
They had one, what was it, a close call against Kentucky this year, and they still ended up coming out on top in that game. The Rebels' offense, their offensive line are so good. They are the 3rd best team in the country on 3rd downs because of it. So this is a team that stays on the field for a long period of time. And they're going to keep putting up points against this LSU defense. LSU struggled heavily stopping the run against the Gators last week, so that will be there for the Rebels. Plus, Mingo and Dart are 2 of the best in the country at what they do in their positions. I don't care that the home team has won 8 of their last 10 games in this series. When I see plus money, plus 110 in the favor of Ole Miss, that's what I like.
Hammering LSU.
He doesn't care.
I do not care. Other games I like on Saturday, Minnesota plus 5.5 over Penn State. TCU minus 2.5. I'll buy 1 point over K-State. Mississippi State, plus 21.5 against Alabama. Will Rogers will pick apart the Tide with his mid-range throws. Bama will still win this game by like 17 points, but I think 21 is a lot to cover for this Alabama team. Oklahoma State plus 7.5 against Texas. UCLA plus 7.5 against Oregon. UCLA 9th in the country, Oregon 10. And Clemson minus 13.5 over Syracuse. I like the way Clemson has been playing, even though Syracuse is ranked. I think the Orange Paw can cover. James, what do you think about Alabama this week being 21-point favorites?
I was just about to chime in on that. Their defense is so bad, dude. They're honestly just their secondary is brutal, and if they don't have a pass rush, any presence against the quarterback, then they're just so screwed. Like we had a backup DB in last week against Tennessee, and that guy gave up, I'm pretty sure, all 5 touchdowns to that same receiver.
5 touchdowns, I think, on 6 catches?
6, yeah.
290-something yards, something crazy.
Yeah, I bet he's not off the team already. So, yeah, I think plus 21 is pretty insane. I think the over at 60.5 is pretty easy to hit. I think if Bryce Young plays and Alabama's playing decent competition, I think the over is easy hit every week. I think they keep it within 21. I think probably a 17-point game or something, like 42-26 or something. Get 68 points, easily hit that over.
Now, I really like the picks that I've put together this week, but I haven't been good parlaying these picks. I will still put like a $10 bet on all of the Saturday picks just in case, but where I've been making my money is by betting solo. So last week, I compiled $100 profit on college football on Saturday. I went 6-2, 1-1 on Friday for a 7-3 record. I'm now 26-18 on the year. I had a couple of bad weeks, which that ran me up in the loss column, but based on where I was at last week, I feel comfortable doing the same thing again this week. So if you want to follow along, my recommendation is bet solo. Do not parlay and group these together because college football is it's so inconsistent. Anything can happen on any given day. I like where we're at. I've actually really enjoyed taking dogs this year over favorites only because it seems that dogs tend to cover more than the favorites. I don't know the stat on that. I don't know the record, but from my experience, that's what I've seen. Plus, it just gives you buffer room to start the game. I feel so comfortable. On Friday last week, I took Navy plus 14.5. Well, SMU started to run up the score late in the third, but Navy did a backdoor cover for me. But I felt comfortable most of that game because I had a 2-touchdown buffer. It's so hard to win by more than 2 touchdowns in today's game of college football, unless you're Georgia playing UMass, whatever it is. It's so hard to cover all those points. So my recommendation
Honestly, any football, even the NFL, the covers for the underdogs have been insane, like 60-something%. So
yeah, we'll get into that here shortly. But before we go into NFL Sunday, Saturday night presents a big opportunity for UFC fighting once again. We haven't talked about it a lot on the show, probably in about, 3 weeks. We've avoided it just because the fights weren't incredibly crazy.
Entertaining is not the right word. Just not big names, not a lot of people watching. I started watching UFC probably 2.5 years ago. So because guys only fight once or twice a year, sometimes 3. So after 2 or 3 years, you're finally kind of seeing the same guys fight 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, their bodies can't handle it.
Exactly, which they should take 6 to 8 months. Absolutely, 100%. But some guys don't. I mean, some guys will take couple weeks. Some guys will take a couple months, especially if they're younger, trying to build their reputation and their record up. But this weekend is loaded. We're not going to mess up any names this time, I promise.
Hey, hold on.
Let me cousin isn't playing.
Let me pull up the fight card.
What's your dong? I blame the margaritas, guys. Come on.
Song, I think it's De Young.
Yeah, it's all right. But here we go. You guys ready?
I'm ready because
you guys are going to ride this with me no matter what.
Correct. I'm on the bet card right now just to keep you honest.
So
I'm not.
The main card is obvious. There's 2 title fights. Charles Oliveira and Islam Makhachev. That is Khabib's cousin. And he's in his corner every match.
He's awesome.
The amount, like I said last time, the amount of times I lose on that last fight is insane. Islam crazily is a pretty big favorite, like minus 180 against Charles, who has the belt. He got it taken away because he didn't make weight. So I don't know if they've given it back to him yet. I'm not really sure. But I'm going to go with Islam. If I have to pick, I probably will. I just think that he's just so good. I think that his grappling is going to be the hardest that Charles has seen. So I think it could be more of a wrestling match than a stand-up fist battle, but we'll see how it goes. I think Aljamain Sterling takes out Dillashaw. Aljamain's too good. He's the champ. He's going to take care of TJ. He's had 1 fight. And he got in trouble with roids or just PEDs. I'm not really sure exactly what it was. And the big one is going to be Peter Yan against Sugar Sean O'Malley.
Pink hair Sean.
Listen, there's no way I'm not betting on Sean. One of my locks is that this fight goes the distance. I think both these guys are going to be very, very careful with each other. I see both of them maybe landing a few good bombs, but it's only a 3-round fight. I see them being extremely careful because if Jan loses this fight, he might not get another title fight because he's ranked 2. I think Sean's 9. So it's really a win-win for Sean. Even if he loses, he's not going to drop because he's fighting someone higher than him.
Thank
so
goodness.
I like Sean's money line, and I like that fight to go the distance. I think that's pretty easy. 3 rounds, those 2 guys.
Thank goodness Sean O'Malley is a big supporter of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, too.
Everything.
Real.
Blue, yellow.
Ninja together, you have some cotton candy.
Yeah, you do. Or the, what was it? Trix yogurt, the cotton candy pink and blue mixture.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that was the shit.
It was really good.
Yeah.
Had like some Danimals.
Cotton candy's not my favorite.
So you're telling me, Troy, Makhachev, look, I'm going to sound very beginner when I say these UFC for dummies over here.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4 next to his name, number 1 against Oliveira. So does that mean Oliveira's the number 1
So he
in
should
that weight
be the
class?
champion. Like, he shouldn't. If it says 1, it's because he missed his weight last fight by like a half a pound. So didn't know that until then. They stripped his title. So he still fought the guy and won. So I'm not really sure how he retains his title. I don't know if he makes this weigh in and he wins, he gets it back. That could be the case. I'm not really sure.
And then in the next fight, Scott Sterling, he's got the C, so that means champion. Scott Sterling. Aljamain.
Yeah, I really like him. He's a great fighter. He just beat Peter Yan. Really boring fight. Just wrestled him to a 5-round decision. He knows how to get points. He knows what to do to keep his belt.
And then Dillashaw, like I was about to say, has the 2, so that's just 1-2 in that. Minus 170 plus 145.
Yeah, because he was eating, and then he got in trouble with PEDs, and then he just came back like probably 6 to 8 months ago and barely won against Sandhagen. I mean, there was a huge controversy in that fight. And Sandhagen's a dog too. But yeah, so he's 36. Aljamain's 33. I like taking the younger guy in UFC usually just to be safe.
So Dillashaw, PED trouble. He'll never get into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame.
And he hasn't done a 5-round fight in a while. And this is not going to be a measly 3 rounds.
And then Sean O'Malley, 11th best against Peter Yan, you said? Yan? Says number 1.
Yeah,
says he's the best.
Number 1 contender. But so, yeah, that's who Sterling just beat. So this, like I said, it's a crazy fight for Yan to take. I mean, if you lose to the rank 11 guy being the 1.
Hey, watch out for Sean Brady. This dude he has a T-shirt of tattoos on.
Dude, I don't know anything about him, but I saw that record. Like 15-0.
Yeah.
But I saw that Muhammad guy was training with Habib in Islam. So I'm
wow.
God damn it.
Nice.
Yeah. So there's no telling. And that Muhammad dude, I've seen him fight. He'll lean his way to a 3-round victory. Lean on the cage.
Love it. Good card.
Yeah, it's so good.
Fun card. Yeah. All the way down the list. So keep that in mind when you're betting UFC this weekend. Troy's favorites are actually all the favorites.
Except for Sean, yes.
Except for Sean, correct.
Yep.
Let's go into the NFL. NFL Sunday. The Giants and the Jets are the 2 most profitable teams on the money line through 6 weeks of this season. Giants 5-1, Jets 5-2. The Giants are 4-0 straight up as underdogs this season. New York is only the 3rd team in the last 20 years to go 4-0 straight up or better as underdogs through their first 6 games. When I say New York, I mean the Jets in that second sentence. So keep in mind those 2 teams, they've been putting together some good weeks and some unexpected wins, I would also say, for a lot of us sports bettors as we try to figure out what money line, what spread to take moving forward. The Atlanta Falcons are 6-0 against the spread this season. The only undefeated team against the spread in the NFL right now. Brady and the Bucs have lost 4 consecutive games against the spread, but teams on a 4+ game against the spread losing streak as a double-digit favorite have won 7 straight games straight up. So expect Brady and the Bucs to win this week. Since 2009, the Jags are 3-9 straight up and 2-10 against the spread as favorites versus the NFC. And Jimmy Garoppolo is 14-6 straight up and 16-4 against the spread as an underdog in his career. He is facing Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. That is the best winning percentage by any quarterback as an underdog in the Super Bowl era, including the playoffs. Keep in mind those trends going into Week 7.
I like it. Yeah, you told me that you were going to potentially stick to some lines and some money lines over these touchdowns that we keep missing on.
Amen. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to stick with some of the trends this week and see where it has me.
I'll never learn. I'll keep losing money.
That's what I say every week, too, whenever I'm like going to bet on NHL, because, of course, that happens daily. I'm like, man, I just lost 4 in a row by 1 leg. I'm not betting today. And then I find myself I find myself placing about 119, 120 more on NHL. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to bet tonight because there's 3 games and I might as well have something to root for.
Exactly. Yep. Make each night a little more exciting. That don't hurt nobody.
Or worse. What do you guys like in the noon slate?
Some touchdowns, running backs. Aaron Jones let me down again, probably, so I'm not touching him. I'll touch Brian Robinson for the Commanders, though, against the Packers. They've been giving up touchdowns left and right to whoever wants to come in. The fans will come on the field and score a touchdown against the Packers. I don't even want to watch the games anymore. Nick Chubb gets in against the Ravens. Love that. Fournette. Derrick Henry gets in. Joe Mixon gets in. Saquon gets in. And Zeke gets in.
Wow.
That could be some moolah.
What is that? Did you say 5 or 6 there?
Holy cow.
It was probably 7. I'm not doing all of them together. Those are just
okay.
what I like.
Jeez.
That's crazy.
I just like them. There's
Me too.
There's a lot of good matchups for running backs this weekend. The Cowboys against the Lions. It's all day for Zeke. Saquon's gonna eat up the Jags. Yeah, true. Mixon will eat up the Falcons. Derrick Henry always destroys the Colts. Literally every time he plays them. Panthers defense has been awful. Fournette's gonna score. Nick Chubb, doesn't he always score against the Ravens too?
Yeah. I like those same running backs. I actually did a noon QB INT parlay.
Oh, I like this.
Nice.
Yes. So I think the Ravens defense gets one against Brissett. I think the Cowboys pick off Jared Goff. I think Heineke throws a pick against your boys there
in his first game.
They need some turnovers. They need something going for them, especially on that defense.
Jair dropped like 4 interceptions the last 2 weeks.
I'll start calling him Kyle Fuller.
Yeah.
And then Mariota. Mariota is my last one. Those 4 guys to throw interceptions. Lock.
I like that.
I like it.
I like
those
that.
odds are good too. They end up being like 1,200, like 1,000 to 1,200 with 4 dudes.
Any quarterback. I was going to change it to below average quarterback, but I'm going to say any quarterback. Any quarterback against a good defense is bound to throw a pick.
Even any quarterback, dude. Like you said last week, Mahomes was plus 140. I mean, and that was quick.
Yeah.
And you hope for like a last second heave into the end zone, like going into the half. They just chuck it and it gets picked off. Boom.
Rodgers throwing more picks this year is just miscommunication left and right with the wide receivers.
He's always
almost
he was like plus 200 or something last week.
Almost a pick 6 on the first drive because of miscommunication, and it barely hit the ground before.
I saw that. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Is Rodgers yelling at his team like Brady's yelling at his team, or is Rodgers just kind of taking the squirrel approach, and once he gets mad, he runs away,
he just
stays quiet?
Like he gets frustrated, but he knows what he's working with. He knows he lost the best receiver in the league. Like he's taken everything with a grain of salt. He said it's 3-3. They're 3-3. The Bucks are 3-3. Like there's a bunch of teams that are 3-3. And so he's not. I don't think we're too worried. I'm not worried yet. It doesn't look good. Like we're not great, but I'm not panicking yet. At least.
I like how you said we're. You're a part of that team, James. That's your guy.
Everybody says it. I'd almost never say that, so I'm surprised I said that.
What do you guys like at the 3:00 slate?
Oh, running backs again? Or you want me to do some receivers?
Let's mix in some receivers here. And, of course, we'll have receiver bets, too, for the noon slate. So just follow along on Twitter at HerdAtSports or on our personal channels. You have Troy Aldridge 21, if I'm correct. Am I close?
It's just at Aldridge Troy.
Okay, at Aldridge Troy.
I don't think there's a number in it.
And then, James, your social is jmarig 22?
22.
I was there. I was close on both. So we'll have our picks posted there come Sunday. So go to those spots and follow along with our picks. You'll be able to see the wide receivers, the running backs, the QB interceptions, and then even the potential of mixing in some spreads and some straight up bets as we look into more of the Week 7 betting trends. Let's look at the 3 o'clock slate. Back to Troy, wide receivers.
I love this bet. I'm going to go Adams, Metcalf, and Deebo Samuel. I think their odds could be juicy playing some better teams. I like those three. I think that could save the weekend for sure.
Samuel against
Chiefs.
The Chiefs, that's right. For some reason,
like
I was thinking the Rams and Ramsey, but you're right.
Another one I like, it's disgusting that Jets-Broncos game is going to be so gross, but a disgusting player in a disgusting game scored one last week against us, Braxton Berrios. They just give him the ball in the weirdest situations. They like to get him in space. I don't know why. He returns every single play too, so there's always a chance he rips one off for the only touchdown in that game.
You're the only team giving up a Braxton Berrios touchdown.
Let's see how many touchdowns
Come
he has
on.
this year. You think that's his only one?
That was his first one for sure.
Let's see.
For sure. He probably has like three catches.
While James looks this up, I would almost rather mix and match from that game and take Breece Hall and put him in to that bet. I would rather mix and match some receivers and running backs.
That was Berrios' third touchdown this year.
Wow.
All right, fair enough.
I bet he's like
shows you how much I watched the Jets.
Plus 250.
So did he score 3 against the Packers?
No.
I don't think he scored against us week 1. I think they only had 1 touchdown.
Well, Joe Flacco played the first 2 weeks, and they threw on 75% of the plays.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
I know they won, but Garrett Wilson ain't doing anything to make him win. He's dumping it off to Breece Hall, watching him run down the field and handing it to Breece Hall.
And Braxton Berrios.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing nothing. He's not turning the ball over. I'll give him that.
Yeah. He just doesn't have enough moms in the stands.
Garrett Wilson was feasting with Joe, and he has like probably 4 catches in 3 weeks with Wilson.
It's funny you say that too, because Elijah Moore has taken a big step back on that team too. Zach Wilson,
and he was eating with Joe. Not eating, but
even last year, Zach Wilson was feeding Elijah Moore, and now you just can't find him on the field. You just can't.
No, it's crazy. It's crazy to see how many wide receivers around the league are getting really, really frustrated. Really good young receivers too. It's going to be crazy to see what happens with those guys.
Yeah, pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. James, I'm assuming you had Breece Hall at least in a bet for the afternoon slate. Did you not?
Oh, yeah, I definitely put him in a running back one for the afternoon slate.
What do you think what do you guys think about mixing and matching? I know you guys were both on the topic of Braxton Berrios at the time, but what do you think about mixing and matching maybe and a running back in a position where you don't really love the wide receivers? Even if it's just one.
I've definitely done that before.
Especially in the 3 o'clock slate where you're forced to those 3 or 4 games, like you have to mix and match. You can't, I don't like either of these running backs, but I have to stick to only running backs. So I'm just going to pick one and hope it hits. Like I would definitely take in that Jets Broncos game, the wide receivers are gross. So I wouldn't want to throw Berrios maybe even in a parlay, maybe just do that straight up and then do like you said, Breece Hall as a running back or Melvin Gordon since he's supposedly getting the start.
Yeah, because they had a conversation. He's just going to go off now.
Yeah, he's getting the start. So
hey, where was this conversation?
Fantasy.
Was this conversation over Call of Duty when Kyler Murray was playing online, or was this conversation in the coach's office at the local Arby's? What is going to spark Melvin Gordon's second half of this season?
Taste of Landon Dickerson.
Probably.
Coming right down your throat.
He's washed. There's no other way to put it. He can't hold on to the football. He's a liability when the ball's in his hands. Like, he would have fumbled that ball and not even gave him a chance to win.
Man.
Mario Chalmers.
I thought 2.5 receptions was a lock for him. Was a lock, and he touched the ball 3 times.
Did he do something specifically in that game that was so bad?
No, Latavius Murray just played better.
Yeah, I mean, because even when I barely watched that game, but
Same.
I mean, I was seeing like Murray, like in that overtime, eating.
Yeah, he just hit the holes harder than Gordon.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is.
I mean, they're the same caliber running back to me, honestly.
Well, Latavius Murray's in a spot right now where he doesn't have to prove really anything.
Yeah,
so, he's just out there playing football until his career ends.
Right.
He's been bouncing around from team to team. Yeah, he's just like, I want to play football, and anywhere I can, I'm going to make the best of the most of my opportunity. So that's what he does. And Melvin Gordon, ever since leaving the Chargers, he has been the type of running back that, first held out so that he could get more money. And two, he's never really put football first. That doesn't seem like his first priority. Winning, nothing. Getting better, nothing.
He peaked right when he got into the league.
Give it to the guy then that is going to try hard. Russell Wilson's not cutting it either. Now, you paid that man $250 million, so you have to just keep trying.
Right, you don't have a choice now.
But no, those are some bets to keep in mind as we go through the afternoon slate. Sunday Night Football, I'm not even sure I had this written down.
Steelers, Dolphins.
Fantastic. Tua should be back. Let's talk about Sunday Night Football.
3 touchdowns. Waddle, Tyreek, Najee.
I thought you were going to say Raheem Mostert, too.
Touchdown!
I still don't know if the Steelers have a passing touchdown this year. They might have just got one last week.
Claypool caught a touchdown.
That's right. So, that's their first one. I was going to say I'm scared to do the receivers, even though they're kind of nice.
Well, Freiermuth has a few. He started.
Does?
Yeah, he started.
Well, wide receiver. Sorry,
got it. Okay.
A wide receiver touchdown. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also like Najee and Waddle. I do like Mostert.
He touches the ball
got
a lot.
17 carries last game.
I know. I've been starting him in fantasy in one of my leagues. It's not obviously not ideal, but he has been getting touches and he hasn't been lacking. He's been 4 yards a carry, which is
he's just like Latavius. Nothing to prove, just out there eating.
Edmonds does get a lot of the goal line work, inside the fives, but until they get there, he's touching the ball. Even inside the red zone, he's still getting the carries till they get way, way down there. Edmonds is not. He's not doing what they thought he was going to do.
Well, Raheem Mostert, too, has chemistry with that coaching staff, and they know what he can offer. So that's another thing that plays into his hand when it comes to being the RB1 down in Miami. So I wouldn't be shocked if I see Mostert get in. Every time I've bet on Mostert, he hasn't. I waited a week. He scored, so he's blacklisted.
Yeah, it takes 2 times for you to fuck me and you get absolutely blacklisted.
Yeah.
One time I'm like, all right, it's cool. It's my fault for wasting money on you. 2 times? Done.
I know it's early, but JT Miller is getting close. He's getting close.
You got to knock it off with that. That dude is a bad luck charm on the ice.
Man, that guy is so good at hockey, too. He is so good.
Tell him to get better at defense.
Yeah, I don't think
minus 11 so far on the season.
He plays defense like a lot of NBA players.
Literally.
Let's move to Monday Night Football this week. Monday Night Football.
I wrote nothing down.
I
saw the game. I immediately clicked my pen and sat it down.
I wrote down under in all caps.
I was gonna say that, but I didn't even want to.
Oh,
I also wrote down Ramondre Stevenson, and that's it.
Guys,
I can't. I know.
This is a game that New England will cover no matter what the line is.
Yeah,
no matter
definitely.
the line. New England is covering at home. Belichick is always someone to bet on at home. I know that there has been, a little bit of button heads between Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi, but, it's zapping in New England.
It is.
Yeah, they played great last week, too, against the Browns. So
this is a team that always has a good defense, too. No matter what.
Just in the right place at the right time.
I was going to say throw in the 3+ sacks or a pick for Fields. Money.
Yeah. I like that.
I think you bet the under on Fields passing props this week. I think you are still safe betting on David Montgomery. He's the type of guy that, after a slow week tends to go off the next week. It's just kind of like his roller coaster of games. And then you know, when you look at the Patriots, Ramondre Stevenson is the only guy I like. The only one. I mean, you can get fancy, maybe throw in Hunter Henry, possibly Jacoby Myers, but outside.
It's all a coin toss for him.
Yeah, I was going to say, outside of those two, you're not looking too sharp when it comes to, hey, player props in this matchup. I may even just stick to betting the Patriots spread here.
This might be the first time. Sorry, James. The first time I do unders in my life, like for props.
Yeah,
honestly.
Yeah. I was gonna say it may be zapping him, but he's just getting the job done. Like he's not doing anything spectacular. So if he doesn't need to, he's not going to, and he won't need to against the Bears. So maybe one passing touchdown for him, but I don't see it. I'm thinking Ramondre gets in and a whole lot of field goals.
They coast to a win. Yeah.
A lot of field goals for New England.
Another
Touchdown!
Another NFC North team that is just god-awful this year are the Lions. And
I thought you were going to say the Packers.
That too. That too. This division's completely up for grabs. The Vikings are also just as bad and inconsistent. But the Lions had a goose egg against the Patriots. You can expect a similar showing with the Bears. That's it. I mean, the Bears have David Montgomery in that game. The Lions did not have DeAndre Swift. If DeAndre Swift was playing, you could probably expect a touchdown out of him. But in this matchup, Patriots could shut out the Bears. It may be 13-0. It really may.
That over-under was like 40.
Yeah.
And I was like,
lock.
I'm under all day.
100%.
I bet the over for the Thursday night football game with Commanders-Bears, and I will never make that same mistake again.
Oh, did it not hit?
No. It was actually 12-7 or something like that. I can't remember the final score.
Close. I mean, at least you like watched the second half because you were excited.
Well, I watched.
Terry McLaurin at least had 4 catches though.
You know what? Maybe instead of betting on David Montgomery, because I neglected to remember that Eberflus and Getsy, thank you, James, for coming over to the Bears. He can only coach in Green Bay. They love.
Same with Nathaniel Hackett.
Yeah, they love to run the football from the 4-yard line on first down. They love doing that. And by love, I mean hate. They throw the ball within 5 yards more than any team I know. Any team. Those guys need to be canned. Maybe it comes down to you don't bet on David Montgomery to score a touchdown this week. Maybe you bet on Justin Fields to scamper in. Maybe that's the best bet. Or Khalil Herbert, yeah. There you have it, our football bets for the weekend, and we'll make sure to get those posted on our social channels. Be sure to follow us at Hurrdat Sports. Let's build a parlay. Cue the music.
119, 120.
James, kick us off.
Lots of goals in these hockey games. I've been saying it. Blues play Saturday, 3 o'clock against the Oilers. I'm going to go over, and if it's not 6.5 goals, I'm hiking it up to 6.5 goals. There's going to be at least 7. Thinking 4-3, 5-4 finish there.
Troy?
Aljamain Sterling money line against TJ Dillashaw.
Which is what again? Like minus 170?
Yeah, like 175.
Last one on our build a parlay, Tulane minus 6.5 on Saturday against Memphis. There you have it. We are 1 for 4, boys. 1 for 4.
Yes, we are.
That's all it takes.
So
that's true.
That juicy when we hit.
Yeah, yes, exactly. We are still up profit because of that bet when it comes to build a parlay. But last week was not pleasant. In fact, we did not hit one leg, as James just stated. It got, I would say the closest was me with the Ravens over 25.5 total points. Did that rest at 20, Troy, if I'm correct?
Yes. Austin Nola just got an RBI single against Aaron.
There it is.
4-3.
Wow, Raj wins.
There it is. I win. At least I win in something. I win in something, right?
Yeah, Vander Kane had 2 assists that night too, so that was cool.
Right. Build a parlay. Troy's UFC fighter, Aljamain. Blues over on Saturday. And Tulane minus 6.5. I was so close, boys, to putting that Ole Miss underdog plus 110 in there. So I hope I don't eat my own words.
I was going to say, I wouldn't have hated that one either. I like that.
Taste of Landon Dickerson coming right down your throat.
It's a great way to walk off of the show. For Troy Aldred, James Merrig, our producer, Shane Schillerberg, thanks for listening, and join us next time for Big Plays, Bad Days, and Parlays.